Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Season 1 of My Adventures with Superman. And this is a new series that's available on Adult Swim, on Max. It's an anime kind of styled Superman story, and you have Jack Quaid, who is starring as Clark Kent, Superman. Alice Lee as Lois Lane, Ishmael Shahid as Jimmy Olsen, and they do change quite a bit from what I understand about just your standard Superman characters. I'm not a huge comic book reader, so I don't know a whole lot about the actual details in the comic books. I do if anything, I've read many more Batman comic books. But with Superman, I just really know standard story from what you expect from the original film, and even Man of Steel was something where it's oh my god, they're destroying Superman. I think Jack Quaid does a great job of playing this younger Superman who's still figuring things out. They make some choices in terms of his identity, who knows his identity, and I think that's an interesting element that they add here that I feel adds some emotional heft pretty early on in terms of Superman and Lois's their dynamic and their relationship. I think this series does a good job of keeping up with the kind of monster villain something or other of the week. Each particular adventure dealing with each of these things. Some of them are bigger scale than others. The scale of it just keeps getting bigger. They made some interesting choices in terms of Lois's backstory and her family lineage, and how that complicates things in terms of who's coming after Superman. They also add some layers in terms of Superman's origin story, which I think how they navigated that and the concern of this alien presence on Earth, I think added layers to that in particular. It did feel very Invincible-esque, and I'm that's interesting that they're going in that kind of direction of why he's here, how he got here kind of thing. I do enjoy there's a lot of action, there's a lot of excitement in each of these episodes. I feel this season kept getting into its groove and got better and better with each episode. They really are pulling out all kinds of characters. You have Amanda Waller and a whole bunch of other characters that are coming in and making their debuts here. And it's setting up an interesting world with some fun villains, some action, and there's a darker tone, especially as the season goes on in terms of the heft and weight that's delivered into this. But overall, I think this first season of this show lays some good groundwork, some character work, some exciting and fun adventures, and it's at the point where I'm I would like to see more. Each episode also is a tight 22 to 23 minutes, so that also does that. The show has that going for it too. They're easily digestible, they have some depth, they have some interesting choices in terms of lore to shake things up, and overall I think most of those things worked. But those are my thoughts on the first season of My Adventures with Superman. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies and TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.